Hi everyone. In this video lecture, I'm going to walk you through how to do assignment 2. You're going to notice that it's very similar to written assignment 1, so any notes I gave you for your grade in written assignment 1, that you can apply what you learned from that to this assignment. So, what are we doing for this assignment? How is it different? So for this assignment, you're going to have to find your own peer-reviewed journal article. So instead of me giving you one, so remember last time you got to choose between 2 different papers to summarize, and this time you have to find your own article. So I'm going to show you how to use scientific search engines to find your peer-reviewed journal article. You're then going to read it and summarize it for me, so using the exact same questions as last time, but with a bonus question this time of telling me how the article you selected connects to what we learned in class. So again, the basics are the exact same as last time, where it's a maximum of 2 pages. You can do single-spaced or double-spaced, I don't care. And just a reminder that your page 1 is the title page, and page 2 includes the paper summary and the connection to class, as well as the APA citation, okay? So it's a total of 2 pages, including everything. You're going to use 12-point Times New Roman font, normal 1-inch margins, and both your title page and references must be APA. And remember to check the rubric, which is posted on Moodle, and use it as a guide. And when I say a title page is APA, I want you to use this version of the title page, okay? APA has updated since the beginning of class, so I want you guys to use this version, okay? So really look at this example and mimic it for your title page. If it's any different than this, that's where you're going to lose points. So here's a breakdown of the points, so you can see it's very similar. So we've got half a mark for the title page, and then down here another half a mark for your citation in APA. You get 1 point for the purpose of the experiment, a point for the experiment's main findings, a point for the implications, and a point for the future directions. And these 4 should all be directly from the article. So your article will probably say almost explicitly what the purpose is, the findings, what the implications are. So remember, the implications is why is the research important? What does it mean? Okay, so that's different than the findings. As well as what is a future direction. The authors will tell you all 4 of these things in the paper. So I want you to tell me what the author said. And then for the last 2 points, you're going to tell me what you think. So you need to demonstrate critical thinking. There's examples on the rubric. And then how does your paper connect to what we learned in class? Now, a few other things that you guys struggled with last time I want to go over. This is APA citations. Okay, a lot of you miss points because of your article title in your APA. Remember that only the first word is capitalized, okay? Only the first word, see here? And then also the Canadian, or the journal title, so here that's the Canadian Journal of Information and Library Sciences. So only the journal title and the volume number, okay? Only that is italicized. Nothing else is italicized. So those were 2 of the biggest mistakes, is that you guys would capitalize everything or italicize other things. Don't do that. Follow this example very carefully. Also, no quotes. No quotes. You use quotes, I take off points. Okay? We don't use quotes in science. I want to know what you think, or I want you to, when you just quote things, then it doesn't tell me that you understood it. So I want to make sure that you understood something. So I need you to reword what the authors say in your own words, okay, so that I know you understood. So that's the basics of the assignment. But now let's kind of have a walkthrough on how to search for a journal article, because a lot of you probably haven't done this before. So I'm going to show you exactly how to do it. We're going to do an example together, and I also have some do's and don'ts. So it should be straightforward. And remember, if you don't know, if you want to double check that you picked a good article, feel free to send it to me and I'll let you know. More than 2 days in advance of the due date. Okay? Remember, it's due November 30th on Moodle, just like last time. But you got to give me at least 2 days to respond to your emails about your paper. So if you want me to double check anything, you need to send it to me more than 2 days in advance. So first off, how do you search for a journal article? Well, you're going to need to use a search engine. Now, there's a couple of resources or good search engines I want you guys to use. So the first one is Google Scholar. You just go to Google, type in Google Scholar. It's easy. We'll walk you through that. You can also go to the Concordia University Library site. They have this great resource at the library called a Find Article. And you go in there and it lists all of these different search engines you can use. And the one I'd want you guys to use is one called Psych Articles. It's a search engine full of psychology articles. Sounds like it'd be perfect for this assignment, guys. Another one that you might have used in high school is called JSTOR. You can also use JSTOR if you're familiar with it. But if you're not familiar with JSTOR, I would suggest using Google Scholar or the library link instead. Okay, so these two are going to be your top 2 picks. JSTOR, if you're comfortable with it, you can still use it, but I wouldn't use it unless you're comfortable with it, okay? So I'm going to walk through what we're going to choose, what we're looking for, what to avoid, and then we're going to do an example. So what are we looking for when we go to these sources? So say I'm on Google Scholar, so I get to Google Scholar. Awesome. Now what do I search for? So what I want you to do is I want you to think about the course and what was your favorite topic? What was something that you want to learn more about? You know, so a couple of you have actually already started this assignment. One of you sent me something about deja vu. You want to learn about deja vu. Awesome. That relates to class. We talked about that. Maybe you want to learn more about an action potential. You can search action potential. Maybe you want to learn more about, you really liked the learning chapter. Maybe you really liked classical conditioning or Pavlov or something like that. Cool. I want you guys to find an article that interests you. Okay? Also, you can use an article from any year. I don't care. However, what I find is that the newer articles tend to be a lot more interesting, because a lot of what I taught you is from things in like the 70s to the 90s. So if you're looking at an article from the 70s, it's probably something we talked about in class. So if you want to know something extra, then maybe find a newer article. So anything from after 2000. I'll also show you how to do that if you want. But again, you can use any year. It doesn't matter. So you search for a topic. Awesome. Now, what are you looking for? So you need to get a peer-reviewed article. Now, you know it's a peer-reviewed article because it's going to have all of these sections. Okay? It's going to have an abstract, an introduction, and then a methods, results, and then either a discussion or conclusion, or maybe both. Okay? But the key thing you're looking for here is a methods section and a results section. If it doesn't have all of these sections, do not use it. Simple as that. When you pick a topic, you're going to see there's going to be a lot of different articles. You're going to look at them. You want to find one that has all of these sections. If it doesn't, don't use it. Now, what are you going to avoid? There's going to be other types of articles in there other than a research paper, a peer-reviewed research paper. Most common one you're going to find is called a review article. Now you're going to know it's a review article because it's going to have the word review in the title or even the journal name. Okay, so the journal might be like Psychology Reviews. You don't want that, okay? Because a review article, what it does is it's kind of like a mini textbook where it summarizes previous research for you. Well, that's fine. I want you guys to be able to read an entire research paper by yourself and understand it. So a review paper is not going to do that. How do you know it's a review article? Again, it's going to have the word review in the title or journal name, or it's not going to have a methods or results section. So if you don't see a method or results section, don't use it. It's easy. Also, if you're starting to read a paper, the thing is, you can pick one, and then if as you're reading it, it doesn't make sense to you, you can pick a new one. You can start over. You're not tied down to one specific article. So if there's too much technical jargon, so there's a lot of words that you just don't understand, don't use that paper, okay? I want you guys to enjoy this. I want you to be able to understand what you're reading and be able to summarize it for me. If you don't understand the words they're using, you're not going to understand what they did in the research, right? So don't use an article like that. Also, don't pick an article on a topic we haven't covered in class. Why? Well, it doesn't meet the assignment, right? I told you a whole point of the assignment is how does it connect to the class. Also, if we haven't covered it in class, it's probably going to be harder for you to understand. So, for instance, we don't cover emotions in this class. So you're not going to want a paper that talks all about emotion, right? We also don't talk about development. So don't find a paper on development. Easy as that. Now, as I'm sharing my screen, I'm going to expand this so that you guys can see my entire screen. Or not. Okay, just 1 second. Okay, so now you guys can see my entire screen, and we're going to walk through how to find a paper. So, the first one is, let's go to Google Scholar. So, I go here. Oh, I've got emails. I'm not going to look at that. And what we're going to do is we're going to go to, so type in, we're going to go to Google Scholar. Boom. Gonna click on it. Easy as that. So now we're here. This is Google Scholar. You can see I've searched things before. So what do we want to talk about, right? So one example, remember, was déjà vu. So let's say déjà vu. Déjà vu psychology. Sure. Great. Now, this is Google Scholar. So now we've got a whole bunch of articles here, all that mention déjà vu. So really, we can use any of these. Now, let's say you want to talk, or you want a newer article. So like this one's from the 70s, so we probably don't want that one. This one's pretty new, so we might want that one. But say you want to pick a specific year, so you can do a custom range. So say I want to pick an article from 2000 to 2019, and then you hit search. And what it's going to do is it's going to filter out to only the articles that were published from 2000 to 2019. So again, so now you're going to look at the title. So this is the title. So we've got the demographic and psychological features of déjà vu experiences in non-clinical Japanese population. Well, that sure sounds great. So let's click that. It's going to load. And it's going to bring us to the paper. Oh, a lot of things. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to check. So in the name, we need to check that it's not a review paper, right? So there's the word review is not in the paper, or in the title, so that's good. Let's look at the journal name, the Journal of Nervous and Mental Diseases. So there's no word review there, so we're good. So now we're going to check that it has all the different sections. So we've got our abstract. Looks great. This is the introduction. When it just starts, it's usually just an introduction. Ooh, here we've got a methods section, so that's good. And then we've got a results section. Awesome, awesome. And a discussion. Perfect. So we have got all the areas we want right here. So that means that this paper, we could use this paper for the assignment because it's not a review paper, but it connects to something we learned about in class. Perfect. Now, I'm going to mark this article. You guys cannot use this article, okay? You can't use this article. If I see you using this article, I'm going to be mad and deduct points, okay? You can use any other article. Now, ooh, here we go. We've got this paper. Now, notice how it says a review of the déjà vu experience. So it's got the word review in it. So that means we probably don't want it, right? So if we click on it, we've got an abstract. Oh, and you have to pay for it. We don't pay for an article, guys. There's plenty of free ones. So we're not going to use that one because it's a review. It's not a research, right? Oh, here we go. So this one's called Can Déjà Vu Result from Similarity to a Prior Experience? Okay? Okay, so the word review is not in the title. Great. Well, let's check the journal name. So we've got Psychonomic, Bulletin, and Review. Oop, it's got the word review in it, so we probably don't want this journal article. Okay? So that's how you're going to kind of search for an article. Now, this was using Google Scholar. Now remember, there's also, you can use the Concordia University Library. So I've actually given you the link. Oh, if I can figure out how to use it. Control click. There we go. Okay, so it's going to bring you to the Concordia University of Edmonton page, the library, the find articles. So here, these are all different databases you can use to search for things that you might need for classes. And then this is just a description of what it is, okay? So like here we've got ACM Digital Library, articles covering computing and information technology. That's not going to help us, right? So you can search through them all. There's a few that might work, that might be helpful, like Academic Search Complete. You could use that. That's probably helpful. But the one we're going to use is if you scroll all the way down to P, then we've got this one called Psych Articles. So this is a full text access to scholarly psychology journals. So this is the one we're going to want. This one's Psych Books. These are books. So we don't want a book. Okay, we want an article. So let's click Psych Articles. You're going to have to log in. Just using your Concordia login. It's very easy, very helpful. Okay, so now we can do just like what we did in Google Scholar. So now let's say we want to learn about learning. Okay, so let's do learning. And then it gives you options, like do you just want learning? There's learning disabilities, learning styles, learning theories. Let's do learning theories, maybe? That seems fun. And let's just search. Let's just see what comes up. Okay, so, ooh, here we go. So, again, ooh, conditioned inhibition. So we kind of talked about that. So this is a historical critiques and controversies in the light of recent advances. Okay, so that might be good. So let's click on it, see what happens. So remember what we're going to do, so there's an abstract and there's all that. Okay, so what we're going to do is we can look at the full text. So the full text is on the side. So I like PDFs. HTMLs are just as great. So what we're going to do, so is the word review here? In the title? No, it's not. Is it in the journal title? So here's the journal title. It's the American Psychological Association, Journal of Experimental Psychology, Animal Learning and Cognition. So no, it's not there, so that's good. So now we're going to see, does it have a result or a methods and results section? So really, I'm just scrolling and I'm looking for a big word like this that says result or methods or results. And I'm not seeing one, guys. Nope. So now we've got a summary. But there, at no place did I see anything that said methods or results. So that means that this is not going to be a good paper for us. This is not a journal or a research article. Okay? So let's go back and say that wasn't what we wanted. So, here we go. So this is great because you can refine your search more. So, we're going to want, obviously, a full text. The one thing is it updates every time. And again, this is where you can change what year it was published. So say we want something from after the 90s. Why not? We want it to be a peer-reviewed journal. Awesome. Here we go. We've got blocking in rat serial pattern learning. So let's click on that one because, maybe that sounds interesting to you. So we've got the journal. It's a journal article. We've got the title doesn't have review in it. The journal itself does not have the word review in it, so let's look at the full text. Okay, so we've got our abstract. It's always going to kind of look like this. It's a separate paragraph. And then we move into the intro, and we're going to scroll. Oh, and we've got a methods section, so that's promising. And then we've got a results section and a discussion section. So this is a good paper, guys. We can use this paper because we have all the sections. It's about learning, serial pattern learning, but it's still a type of learning in animals. So this is something we talked about in class. So you could use this article. Now again, you can't use this specific article. I'm flagging this article that you cannot use for the assignment because we did this together, okay? So this one and the Deja Vu article, this Japanese one, you cannot use, okay? But you can still use the topic of learning or the topic of Deja Vu. That's not a problem. You just can't use these two specific articles, okay, guys? So that's how you use these two resources, Google Scholar and the Concordia University Library website, and using that psych articles. Okay? Now, if you guys have any questions at all, feel free to send me an email as always, and send me your article if you want to double check that it's good for class.